Welcome to The Man in the Middle. I am your host, Bill West. Today I've got some exciting news brought to us by comicbook.com. Rom is returning to Marvel. Well, his old adventures they're collecting in paperback or trade paperback form, or not trade paperback, but you know, trades. And let's go to the article and then we'll talk about it afterwards. There it is. Rom returns to Marvel. Rom returns to Marvel. How's that? By Jamie Levitt, May 22nd, 2023 at 4:01 p.m. Rom's origins in the Marvel Universe are finally being reprinted in a new omnibus. Marvel Comics announced on Monday that it has collaborated with Hasbro to release Rom the Original Years omnibus, reprinting all 75 issues of the original Rom comic book series set in the Marvel Universe. Not the Marvel Cinematic Universe, though. Paramount was working on bringing Rom to the big screen. Based on the toy first released by Parker Brothers, which Hasbro now owns through its 1991 purchase of Tonka, Marvel Comics Rom series ran throughout the early 80s. During that time, Rom the Space Knight became a mainstay of the Marvel Universe, crossing paths with the Avengers, the Fantastic Four, and the X-Men, battling Galactus and the Skrulls. Bill Mantlo wrote the series, which featured artwork by Sal Buscema. Rom the Original Years of Omnibus Volume 1 begins reprinting Rom's Marvel Comics appearance, including guest roles in the Marvel and other Marvel Comics series for the first time ever when it goes on sale in January 2024. The first volume collects Rom 1979, 1 through 29, and Power Man and Iron Fist, 1978, number 73. Additionally, Marvel Comics will publish a facsimile edition of Rom's first appearance in comics, Rom number 1, in September 2023. I guess that's the new cover, or the new old cover right there. Here's Marvel's synopsis for Rom the Original Years. He strikes from outer space, and nothing can stop him. Marvel Comics is proud to present the iconic early adventures of the greatest of space knights, Rom. Centuries ago, Rom pledged his life to protect his planet Galador from the evil Dire race. Now Rom has tracked these vile creatures across the cosmos to Earth, where they have infiltrated the highest levels of power, including S.H.I.E.L.D. itself. Armed with his energy analyzer, only Rom can see the race's true form, and with his neutralizer, he can blast them into limbo. But what will Earth make of this armored invader? Will Rom's quest be aided or hindered by encounters with X-Men, the Fantastic Four, Jack of Hearts, Nova, and Power Man and Iron Fist? And when Galactus targets Galador, can Rom and his fellow Space Knights save their homeworld from destruction? The synopsis for Rom number 1 facsimile reads, long ago, Rom offered his life to save his planet of Galador as a space knight, an armored warrior sworn to protect the people from the vile alien invaders known as the Dire race. Now his solemn vow brings him to Earth in the latest in an ancient cosmic conflict. The race can assume human form, and they've been worming their way into our society. Only Rom's trusty energy analyzer can detect them, and with his powerful neutralizer, he can banish them to limbo. In this landmark first issue, Rom blasts his way into the Marvel Universe, meets his future ally, Brandy Clark, and begins his quest to free Earth from the Dire race's invisible infiltration. Rom's presence in the Marvel Universe created headaches when it came to reprinting his adventures for decades. Since Marvel lost the rights to Rom, the company was never able to reprint the series. Conversely, when IDW came to possess the rights, many of Hasbro's properties to 2000s for reprinting Rom's previous Marvel published comics, as the company did with Transformers and G.I. Joe, was complicated by the number of interactions Rom had with Marvel superhero characters. IDW instead rebooted Rom into their shared Hasbro Comics universe, IDW publishing a Rom ongoing series from 2016 to 2018. In 2020, IDW launched a new series, Rom Dire Race, with Sal Buscema returned to the character with IDW losing all of its several of its Hasbro licenses in 2022, it seems the path is cleared for Hasbro and Marvel to bring the original ROM comics back into print. Now, I don't know about you, but I was a big fan of ROM in the the 80s. ROM was one of my favorite comic books. Them and the Micronauts. Hopefully, Hasbro can, if they own the Micronauts, I think they do, can do the same kind of uh, omnibus setup for the Micronauts, because that would be really really nice. But yeah, I was a big fan of ROM all the way from issue one to the end, and even now I'm a big fan of Rom, even through with all the IDW stuff. He's one of my favorite comic characters, and I'm glad to see him back. Even you know some of the old tales. You know, actually all the old tales. I'd like to have them in in my library. I had sold many belongings years ago to finance the divorce of my first wife, and I'm looking forward to this. Rom, you uh, first introduced me to like Jack of Hearts, another one of my favorite uh, comic book heroes, and the Legion of Space Knights that came up. The Javelin, Starshine, I believe, uh, Shockwave. Just they had some really killer Terminus. The all black Space Knight, really cool. And seeing the Nova Corps, uh, seeing I'm trying to remember some of the old stuff. Galactus, X-Men. I mean, it was an incredible romp across the universe of the Marvel universe. Shield, much like the Micronauts did the same thing. They we didn't see it then, but IDW was able to do a Micronauts ROM crossover, which was very interesting. I'm hoping that they do this justice, and we get to see in the omnibus not only the comics, but the covers that go with them. They had some great covers. They had, I'm looking forward to seeing Brandy Clark again. The anti-Space Knight hero called I think it was Torpedo or Tornado. I can't remember which. Uh, it was such a cool concept. Unfortunately, I was never able to pick up a ROM toy. I would love to have one, but these days they're just ridiculous. I don't see why Hasbro doesn't re-release a ROM toy. Even better. Because I mean, back in the day it was cool, but I think they could do a much better job of it now. All right, I blathered on long enough. Uh, it was just news to me, and it made me very happy. And I hope that if you're a ROM fan, that this will make you happy too. I'm Bill West. I'm the man in the middle. Uh, Thank you for spending time with me, and I look forward to seeing you soon.